When you turn 60 and beyond, who will truly be by your side? When you're younger, the answer seems obvious. Your family, close friends, and people you've known for years. But after 60, everything begins to look different. Life changes, people get busy, and priorities shift. Suddenly, you realize that the support system you've always relied on may not be as dependable as you thought. In this video, we'll reveal 6 crucial pillars that can become more reliable than family as you age. When you build a solid foundation on these 6 pillars, you gain the confidence and independence to navigate any challenges life throws your way. Stay with us until the end, because these 6 pillars can completely transform your perspective on support. And once you understand them, you will never feel helpless, lonely, or unprepared again. Pay special attention to the 4th pillar. Listen to the end and rate this video from 1 to 10. So, pillar number 1, your peers, women who understand without words. You walk into the room. There's no family around, no children, no grandchildren, no husband, just women roughly your age. Some are smiling, some are knitting, others quietly say, "Join us." And suddenly, without explanations or lengthy stories, you feel, here, you can be yourself. Here you're not judged, not pressured, and no one is caught up in their own business. Here you're simply among those who have also walked a similar path. This isn't a friendship from our youth or just casual neighborliness. It's a new understanding. Women hear each other differently, especially when they share similar experiences, fatigue, pains, victories, disappointments, and hopes. There's no need to explain what it's like to wait for a call from your children while pretending you're not hurt. They know how painful it is when grandchildren grow up without you, and how important it is, even for just an hour a week, to talk, laugh, reminisce, and feel that you are still alive, interesting, and visible. The most common mistake is to wait for everything to change on its own, for loved ones to suddenly become more attentive, for loneliness to fade away if you just endure it. But the best remedy is not to wait, but to take action yourself. Join a hobby group, a soul club, or an online community where you connect not for practical benefits, but for warmth. Even if it feels scary, take that step, because it's women like you who are currently seeking others like themselves. Friendship after 60 becomes quieter, stronger, and more honest. There's less pretense, but so much more authenticity. And often, it's with that first shared cup of tea that not just a new chapter begins, but the feeling that you are needed again, not as a role, but as a person. The next pillar is also incredibly important. There's a unique sense of calm when you know there's someone who genuinely cares about your well-being. Not just going through the motions, but truly attentive, without rushing or irritation. This doctor doesn't just order tests and write prescriptions. They explain, listen, clarify, and address your concerns, even if they seem trivial. They don't dismiss your worries or say, "What do you expect at your age?" Instead, they say, "Let's figure this out. It's important." As we age, the support from a good doctor becomes more than just medical. It becomes emotional. This is someone who sees you regularly, notices even the slightest changes, and can gently guide, warn, reassure, or simply be there when others have turned away. When this relationship is built correctly, it starts to take on the role of a trusted advisor, reliable, steadfast, and always on your side. It's crucial to stop viewing therapy as an unpleasant necessity. It's an act of self-care. It's a way to not only heal, but also to understand what's happening in your body without fear, guilt, or loneliness. To make this connection genuine, you need to choose not just a specialist, but someone with whom you feel comfortable, at ease, and understood. Someone you can ask any question without feeling awkward. Prepare a list of questions in advance. Don't hesitate to talk about what concerns you, even if it seems trivial. Sometimes it's those little things that signal something important that needs to be addressed. A good doctor doesn't just treat the body. They help you feel, I'm being looked after, I'm not alone, someone is keeping an eye on me. This feeling, especially at an age when the body is changing rapidly, becomes one of the most reliable sources of support. Because when you know there's a professional nearby who genuinely cares, you feel not anxiety, but confidence. I'm not alone. Someone is truly looking out for me. What do you think about the next source of support? Sometimes, all it takes is to open an old box of threads, pick up a book you've been meaning to read, or simply sit by the window with a notebook to realize you're not lost. You've just been away from yourself for too long, not in solitude, but in a warm, genuine return to who you are. A woman with a passion is a woman with an inner sense of stability that doesn't rely on the ringing of children, her husband's mood, or the presence of guests. A hobby doesn't require explanations, doesn't criticize, isn't late, and doesn't get upset. It simply waits for you to return, reminding you that you are interesting, creative, and alive. Without personal interests, days start to blur into a monotonous stretch where the main focus is just waiting for news, medications, or visitors. But as soon as there's even an hour for the soul, the day takes on shape, flavor, and light. It doesn't have to be about something useful or impressive. Sometimes the simplest habits, like watering plants, journaling, solving crosswords, or rewatching favorite films, become anchors that bring back the feeling of being alive. The most valuable thing about this is that interest never lets you down. It doesn't leave, doesn't forget, doesn't age, doesn't shout, and doesn't demand. It's always there. Every time you engage in something not out of necessity, but because you genuinely want to, you step out of the waiting mode and reconnect with yourself. You can start small, spend just 10 minutes a day on something that sparks even the tiniest flicker of joy inside you. Whether it's drawing a postcard, planting herbs in a pot, writing a childhood memory, finding a tutorial on Nordic walking, or simply choosing a beautiful notebook to jot down things you can praise yourself for today. These aren't trivial activities. They are the moments of quiet where your interest in life is reborn. In this silence lies your independence, your depth, and your inner resilience. Many people, for some reason, overlook the next support. Sometimes, on an ordinary day when nothing special is happening, a wave of anxiety suddenly washes over you, without reason, without words, like emptiness in your chest, like a desire to disappear or cry for no apparent reason. At that moment, advice, casual conversations, or even a walk won't help. Because the issue isn't external. It's internal, a deep-seated fatigue that no one can see but you. This is exactly the moment when what you need isn't external help, but an internal point of calm, one that doesn't depend on circumstances or people, a place you can return to at any moment, even amidst tears, even in darkness. For some, it's prayer. For others, it's a breathing practice or special words they tell themselves before sleep. For some, it's simply the habit of waking up in the morning and expressing gratitude for being alive, for a cup of tea, for their heart that's still beating. Spiritual support doesn't have to be tied to religion. It can be any warm connection to yourself, to the universe, to something greater than you. It doesn't require effort, perfection, or special preparation, just sincerity and silence. If you can carve out even a minute of quiet for yourself each day, where you can exhale, feel your pulse, and say, "I exist, and that's enough," then you're already on the path to not losing yourself. Find what gives you a sense of grounding. It could be a prayer, reading psalms, meditation, a morning conversation with God, or simply the habit of starting your day with the question, "How do I feel today, and what do I truly want?" It might be a candle, a favorite icon, a notebook filled with thoughts, an open window at dawn, or a song you listen to in solitude. No one can take this support away from you. No one can forget it, cancel it, or not call you back. It's with you, in your breath, in your thoughts, in the quiet inner voice that says, "I'm here, you've got this, you are not alone." This may come as a surprise, but sometimes the kindest, most patient, and caring people are not your family, but those you didn't even know until recently. Those who came not out of love, but out of a calling, a sense of duty, or simply out of the kindness that resides within them. Social workers, volunteers, and support service specialists are not just helpers who bring groceries or accompany you to the clinic. They possess an important quality. They expect nothing from you in return. They don't wait for thanks, don't take offense if you don't call back, and don't scold you for your mood. Because of this, their assistance is not a burden. Instead, it provides a sense of being remembered, valued, and seen. Many older women feel embarrassed to seek such support, thinking it's only for those who are in really dire situations, or fearing that they will appear weak or helpless, worrying about how neighbors and family might judge them. What will they think? But the truth is, asking for help is nothing to be ashamed of. What's truly shameful is suffering in silence when help is available. Today, dozens of services are operating in every city: hotlines, medicine delivery, caregivers, hospital escorts, psychological centers, programs for the elderly, social groups, and home visits. Many churches, cultural centers, and community hubs offer free or affordable programs where you will not only receive support, but also be welcomed with respect and warmth. Sometimes it is this outsider who becomes the first to notice how difficult things are for you, who says the right words, who extends a hand not out of obligation, but out of genuine desire to help. So if one day you decide to make that call, to inquire, to register, or to leave a request, know this: it's not a step towards weakness. It's a step towards a place where you are no longer alone, and where care is offered not because you are someone's mother or wife, but simply because you are a human being. And every human deserves to be in warmth. You can expect that someone will support you, that children will understand, grandchildren will remember, your husband will change, or your friend will be the first to reach out. And sometimes it really happens. But other times it doesn't. Yet you keep living, breathing, waking up in the morning, getting out of bed, and going about your day, even when it's tough, even when you don't feel like it. And at some point, it becomes clear. The most constant, patient, and strongest support in this life is you. You, who have endured so much that no one even knows about. You, who didn't give up, who continues to care for others, even when you've been forgotten. You, who gets yourself through each day, not because it's easy, but because it's the only way. Being there for yourself doesn't mean being hard or proud. It means speaking to yourself with respect. Not scolding yourself for weakness, not blaming yourself for feeling tired, and not comparing yourself to the happy and successful people you see in advertisements. Instead, say to yourself, "You're doing great. I see how hard this is for you, and still, I'm proud of you." This inner kindness towards yourself acts like a shield. It might feel strange or even uncomfortable at first to praise yourself, express gratitude, and say kind words in an empty room. But after a few days, it will become a new habit, and in a few weeks, it will turn into a true strength that supports you in moments when there's no one to talk to, nowhere to turn, and it feels like everything is falling apart. Start simple. Every morning, think one kind thought about yourself. Every evening, celebrate one small victory, even if it's just, "I went to the store," or "I remembered my favorite song." No need for grand gestures. Just be honest. And if you can truly be there for yourself, without criticism or self-deprecation, then any external support will be just an addition, not your only source of warmth. You are with yourself forever. And in that lies your main resilience, depth, and mature, beautiful strength. Do you agree? Sometimes it seems like support is something to wait for, ask for, or earn. But the truth is, it's already all around, in people, in activities, in caring hands, in silence, in breath, and most importantly, within you. Family is important, but it doesn't always have the capacity to be there in the way you need. Life doesn't end when your loved ones become less involved. It begins anew when you discover new sources of support, your own interests, like-minded friends, a caring doctor, a spiritual anchor, outside help, and most importantly, when you start to nurture yourself not just with words, but with your attitude. You are not alone. You are in a world where there are people ready to listen. You are in a body that is still alive and seeking love. You are in a moment where you can start over. Not loudly, not from scratch, but from the place where you stand right now. Let today be the first day you tell yourself, not out loud, but quietly, truly, "I am worthy of care, and it begins with me."